Welcome to the Mercurial Gems podcast. I'm V.
I'm Jen.
And today we're going to talk about the seasons.
Yeah, so we're going to break down winter, spring, summer, and fall, some of the qualities that exist within those, and discuss some of the astrological connection that exists in season changes. If you're watching this more in real time, we are just entering summer, so summer solstice just occurred. And yeah, I feel like we should start with the summertime. So what we've come to learn is each of the seasons actually break up 3 of the zodiac signs, which we thought was just a really cool way not only to compartmentalize what is like an entire year, because often when we try to set New Year's resolutions and look to the entirety, that's like a very big chunk of time. But breaking it down not only by season, which I think is very important to enter and exit each season with intention, but also breaking it down almost monthly by the zodiac sign is a really cool way just to stay intentional as you go. I have shared this many times across many platforms that I am such a moon girly. I love paying attention to the full and new moons. But you can also remember that the sun is also changing signs every 30 or so days. So you can also be a tracker of the sun, and that is what is ultimately determining your zodiac sign or sun sign, your main sign that kind of is more widely known in the astrology world. So just to give some context, we can start with spring. So in springtime, we initiate things with Aries, then we go into Taurus, then Gemini, and then starting into summer, we have Cancer, then Leo, then Virgo. Going into fall, we have Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius. And then going into winter, we have Capricorn, then we have Aquarius, then Pisces. So this is a cool way you can mark on your calendar, not only when each season changed, setting yourself little reminders so that you meet it with a reflection of what just came before and intentions of what is coming ahead. But you can also divvy it up and kind of think of the qualities that exist within each zodiac season, and then V pieced together a really cool line of thought that we have been kind of nerding out about recently.
Yeah, so this started in my head probably about a year ago because Jen and I have been working seasonally on a program for each season that breaks down into the zodiacs that then breaks down into the full and new moon, because of course we would. And that is available on our Sensible Soul community. But while we were working on this, I realized as I was making the workbooks that each season has one of each modality. So the modalities are cardinal, fixed, and mutable. With cardinal, this is the signs that start off the season. So we are in a cardinal season as we record. Cancer, Capricorn, Aries, and Libra are all cardinal signs. These launch us into the season that we're in. So now we're in summer, we're launching towards that heat wave. A lot of us are looking for the water, just a little bit more sunshine if you're not allergic to the outside world like a lot of us are.
It's a personal issue.
I feel attacked. I love nature. Then you have your fixed signs. These signs are very settled in the season that they're in. So after Cancer season, we're going to shift into Leo. Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, and Scorpio are all fixed signs, so they really do truly embody whatever season they're in. Taurus would be spring, Leo is summer, Scorpio is fall, and then Aquarius would be winter. And these signs are very, fixed just doesn't move. It is how it is. And then you have mutable, and mutable signs, I feel like get the worst rap, but we're really doing the most work over here, okay? And mutable signs are the shapeshifters. We are shifting from one season into the next. We just exited Gemini season. Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Pisces are all our mutable signs, and each of these signs are shifting us out of one season and into the next. So the beginning of Gemini season, you're really spring is so in full bloom and you're really feeling that, but you're starting to crave, summer is just around the corner, we're almost there. And by the time we get to the end of Gemini season, summer is here and we are in a whole other energy. But the mutable signs are really doing the most work because we are transforming into different elemental energies, into different just little chunks of time that we're all about to hold. So before you start giving mutables a bad rap, just remember that someone has to do the transitionary work. I'm just saying.
And I will point out on that line of thought that, yeah, there's 3 within each season, but it's also really fun in your own birth chart to calculate how many cardinal, fixed, and mutable placements you have in your physical chart. We are both very mutable in our birth charts, so we really understand that mutability, but in your chart, you might have more of one of the other modalities. And it's also interesting how you connect with other people, because there's often a bit of a connection when you are around people that hold some of those same qualities as you. I've even thought it was fun to kind of take what is your big 3, which is your rising sign, your sun, and your moon, and just think of them in terms of modalities. So we are both Gemini suns, so we are mutable suns. V is a Sagittarius rising, I'm a Virgo rising, so we are both mutable risings. And then if you go into your moon, V is a Virgo moon, I'm a Leo moon, I'm a fixed moon, and V is a mutable moon. So V is triple mutable, I am mutable, mutable, fixed. And we can even see where we are very mutable together. Yeah. And then my Leo moon being fixed requires a lot more time to stay on an emotion than what V's mutable moon is. So a good line of thought, if you have never done this in your birth chart, I always share this when I do live readings, that could be something important to note.
Absolutely. And I think it's also like one more for you and I is that we've done this with our friends too. And so although we're very mutable and then Jen's mutable, mutable, fixed, we have a lot of friends that are like very heavy cardinal with a fixed or very heavy fixed with a cardinal. So like, I think our mutable energy helps those people the most because they themselves need the mutability, even though they lack it, because like cardinal and fixed do seem like 2 very different energies to me.
We all really need each other. There is meant to be a balance in all things, and you sometimes will attract what you are lacking. Or you'll have some people that really have a lot of what you are. I can see the difference even in my partners, like having mutable, we are so affected by each other's energy, and it's beautiful because we like co-create from different angles and perspectives. My other partner and who lives in the house with us is very cardinal. So when we are just kind of like getting on like random creative loops, like cardinal's very good at initiating and pushing towards something new, and that can be really helpful for us who kind of lack like cardinal. So just good food for thought as you're exploring like some of your closer relationships or even your family dynamics, because it can say a lot. V actually pieced together what was like so interesting in regards to elements. So in the zodiac, there are 4 different elements: earth, air, fire, water. There is going to be 4 of each of the elements. But as we said before, there's only 3 zodiac signs within each of the seasons that we go through. So breaking this down so you can have some food for thought. So we have spring season, Aries is fire, Taurus is earth, and Gemini is air. So the spring season is actually missing a water element. So if you think about some of the qualities of spring, it's helping us initiate, it's helping us to really move forward. And one of the things that can keep us from launching forward a lot of the time is big emotional undertones, and water holds our emotion. I also think water holds kind of a intuitive, sort of slow down, receptive pace to it. So it kind of makes sense that spring season that holds that energy is lacking that water element. Then we shift it into summer, and we have Cancer, that is a water sign, Leo, that is fire, and then Virgo, that is earth. So summer is actually missing the air element. And I think summer really involves a lot more of the other qualities because air is so think first, analyze, lots of conversation. I think summer kind of holds the energy of you want to turn your brain off a little bit more. You want to be able to just connect and go into the water and travel and adventure. There's usually a little bit more call into family for some of us. there's just kind of different themes and undertones that turning off some of the mental makes a lot of sense for summertime. I also will chime in that this is why I think for me, summer's my hardest season. I have like reverse seasonal depression, but my entire birth chart is pretty air heavy. So I don't like that missing element. So that was just a little sprinkle in there. Then you go into the fall season and we have Libra, that is an air sign, Scorpio, that is a water sign, and then Sagittarius, that is a fire sign. And fall is missing the element of earth. And that really makes sense to me too, because the energy of fall, first of all, it's like spooky season. We tend to get way more creative and playful. There is kind of a disconnect from earth. I feel like it gets very enchanting and sort of fun and whimsically in the fall, at least for me.
A little less grounded.
Yeah.
You also have all of like, I think of fall too, missing the earth element. Like this is when you start to see the decay transition of like the leaves turning brown and everything is falling away. You've harvested whatever fruits you bore during the spring and summer months, and now like you're transitioning into like winter, but you're also watching the earth like reset itself.
Yeah, you actually don't see earth a lot around in the same way. Like a lot of that greenery is gone, and so that makes so much sense as well. And then moving into the winter season, we initiate with Capricorn, which is an earth sign, Aquarius, that is air, and then Pisces, that is water. So we are missing the element of fire. And in winter, we literally try to create external fire by fireplace, but we all don't have energy the same way. Winter really calls you to slow down. And without fire, we can't charge ahead. We can't move forward in the same sort of just spice that comes with having heavy fire. And that really checks too. So I think it is super important to calculate how many of each element you have in your chart. We are both very air and earth heavy, so we definitely need a lot more fire and water around us because that is just kind of our balance. And I think it's interesting to kind of correlate how each season makes you feel with some of this like little elemental magic.
Yeah, for me, I really like to look at what is and isn't heavy in my chart, and then look at the seasons where I feel like I thrive in and which ones I struggle in. And I already know subconsciously the seasons in a zodiac sense, so month to month, that I always have a little harder time with, and it is always the water parts of the year, so Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Those are always tend to be a little more challenging months because I lack a lot of those elementally and just those placements in general. But when it's air, fire, or earth, like I'm just charged different. Mm-hmm. And each of those feelings feel different. When you put the elements into a seasonal context, I think it also is very helpful when you're planning out whatever intentions you're setting. If you know winter is a harder time for you to get up and go, you need that fire is missing. Maybe we don't give ourselves 800 different tasks we think we're going to do. Maybe we meet ourselves very realistically. Maybe we throw in a little more self-care because we know we're going to need something to charge us up a little bit more. Whereas in like the spring months are all my best elements. So spring comes around and I have my itinerary packed and I know I'm going to get it all done because I just have almost like endless energy. So let us know down below what element is strong in your chart and what element you feel like is lacking in your chart. And then what seasons are your best seasons?
Yeah, I think it's very Virgo core of us to divvy up like our task and our self-care and what we need based on seasons. But I do think it helps you stay intentional. It's easy to kind of check out and dissociate and just float through life. And the more magic of intentional awareness and consciousness we bring into everything, the more you can see just the magic that exists within the mundane of life. And you can really start to see how much you can actually manifest and call in things that you maybe didn't even realize because you haven't always noticed the patterns of things. Like it might not be not getting what you want. There might be bigger patterns that exist. And I've seen these patterns from being a really thorough journaler for a long time around season changes, full and new moons, and all of just nature's cycles. And so it's like one of the top things that I share in all of the work I do is honoring just what nature is constantly teaching us because we are a part of it.
It's like seasonal cycle syncing. Like, I don't know, that's how it started for me as I learned about cycle syncing. And then I was like, what if I broke this down more?
Yeah. We love patterns, and yeah, we look forward to hearing about yours. I hope this was some good food for thought for you, and whatever season you find yourself in as you listen to this, enjoy it fully and stay intentional and reflective as you go through it. We will see you in the next episode. Bye.